Shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone where I learned this truth. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect out there scattered abroad, pushing this truth on the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and freedom to do so. It's a brother Tazamak coming back with a quick lesson. I'm going to call this lesson, Keep Your Lights Burning. And I'm going to be going into how we are to stay on fire in this truth, which is a requirement. Okay? Because anything less than that is a half-assed job, aka lukewarm. And the Lord will kick you out of this thing and eventually destroy you for that. Okay? The Lord will destroy you for doing a half-assed job. The Lord is not dealing with a half-ass. The Lord is not dealing with 50, 60, 70, even 80%. You got to give 100% of your effort to this, and that requires staying on fire, regardless of what it takes. Regardless. Okay? Staying locked in. And, realistically, you might not watch videos 24 hours a day, right? I'm not saying that, but you need to do whatever it takes to stay on fire. Everybody's spirit is different. It could be a brother that might watch videos, 9 hours out the day, and he's on fire, right? It could be a brother that might watch videos 15 hours a day, he's on fire. Or you could have you watch videos 8 hours, you might read a little bit, and that's good for you. Every brother's needs, every brother's spiritual needs are different. Okay, you got to find what works best for you, what keeps you on the right path. All right? And our forefathers spoke on these things. All right? Our forefathers spoke on these things, and it still applies today. You can't be cold. I'm going to start off because I'm going to get something that's actually going into that. The Lord rather you be cold, not deal with the truth at all, or what's preferred, hot, meaning being on fire. But don't be in the middle, being lukewarm, doing the work whenever you feel like it. This word is not a joke, man. I just seen people I thought were brothers lead a ministry because they lost the fire. Getting too caught up in the affairs of this life. Protect the fire at all costs. You know what your spirit needs. Lock you. I'm going to start off in the book of Revelation 3. It's Yahweh Shai speaking. In verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. The Lord is saying He'd rather you just be cold and not deal with it at all. Okay? Or what's preferred, like I said, being on fire. That's what the Lord wants. Okay? Us being on fire. If you're in this truth, you're required to be on fire. Puts this truth at an elite level. Okay, or just be cold. Don't deal with it at all. Okay, you're going to be destroyed, but the Lord rather you do that. Just don't deal with it at all. We've seen people give it up, give the truth up for whatever reasons, which was BS because there ain't nothing more important than this. All right? That's better than playing in the Lord's face, doing a half-ass job. I feel like doing a lesson in 10 days. I feel like reading once every 3 months. I'm going to go to the camp when I feel like it, when the weather's good. The Lord's not dealing with that. That's lukewarm, man. You do the work whenever you feel like it. If you decide to feel like it, right? Verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm, you see, and neither cold nor hot, in the middle. Okay, you sitting there in the middle. I guess I'll go to camp today. I guess I'll watch 2 videos a day. I'll read today. That's lukewarm. Okay? Not having that fire, that passion to do the work. That's what the Lord wants. Okay? I will spew thee out of my mouth. The Lord is going to eventually kick you out this truth, having an attitude like that. And you know what the end result is? Destruction. Okay? However the Lord might send it to you. This is a very serious thing. Okay? And like I was saying, you know what your spirit needs to stay locked in, to stay on fire. Every brother's spiritual need is different. If you ain't read or studied in, 2-3 months, a month or whatever, yeah, you're going to be feeling weird. You ain't been locked in like that yet, you're not going to feel right in the spirit. You know? I'm going to get this in the book of Matthew 6. I was looking at that wrong. It's 35. This is Matthew 6 and 22. Yahweh Shai speaking. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. What does it mean by thy eye be single? Having tunnel vision, focusing on this truth only. That's the safest way. That's the safest way to stay locked in, to stay on fire. Even though you can't force yourself to be the elect, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, I'd rather make my call of election sure. I'd rather cut out all the BS and focus solely on this. Even though we have personal lives, right? Nothing comes over this ministry. Nothing comes over this truth. Keep your eyes single. Tunnel vision on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Just focusing on this truth. Living a simple life. Not doing too much. That eliminates a lot of other things that can happen. Okay? I'm going to get this next. In the book of Sirach. 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy. Be occupied means this is your occupation. This is our real job, man. All right? If you occupied in prophecy constantly, you on fire. All right? You locked in. You doing what you're supposed to do. You doing what's pleasing to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Obviously, you have to apply the scriptures to your life. Goes outside of just being locked in. But if you locked in, you're going to be digesting this, man. Okay, I can't do this. I can't do that. You know? You got to put off the old men. And not trying to, get off topic, but the safest way is to stay occupied in prophecy. Period. All right? Don't watch a video for 2-3 days and see how you feel. You're going to feel like shit. Okay, and if you have the elect, okay? Because somebody that's not in the elect, they'll feel fine. I haven't watched a video in 2 weeks. I haven't done a video in 9 days or whatever, you know? Look at Apostle Har. Do like 5 videos a day. Apostle Gabar. You know? The ministry, the job is almost done. And we can tell by everything that's going on in the world. I'm going to get the book of Jeremiah next. This is Jeremiah. Jeremiah 20. And I'm going to go to verse 9. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart. Okay? Meaning his mind. As a burning fire shut up in my bones. And I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. Jeremiah said, I can't hold it in. I gotta preach. I gotta teach this word. That's how it's supposed to be. If you could go a long period of time without teaching this word, that's a bad sign, man. You need to fast. You need to study. You need to do something. Pray. Okay? Do something to feed your spirit. Stop watching TV all goddamn day. Lock in. All right? That's what Jeremiah was saying. I can't hold it in. This truth is burning in my bones like a fire. I got to let it out. And that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to go extended periods of time without teaching this word or being involved in this word, man. I think about this truth 24/7. This is my life. This is our life. That's a part of being on fire. Okay? And not saying you can't have, a personal life or whatever, but this comes before all of that. If you want to stay on fire, stay locked in, you do whatever it takes. And you got to move with fear. Okay? Because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. In order for you to understand what it is to be, You know, you got to be locked in, stay on fire. Okay, you got to have the fear of the Lord. Because if you don't have the fear of the Lord, you're going to be walking around and doing whatever the hell you want. I'll do a lesson when I want to. I'll come to camp if I feel like it. I'll read in 2 months if I feel like it. You know, that's lukewarm, which the Lord does not like. You heard it. You read the parable about the servant that hid his talents in a napkin. He wasn't on fire. You know, he wasn't on fire, and the Lord spewed him out of his mouth. Okay. I'm getting ready to close in the book of Luke. This is Luke 12 and 35. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning. Okay, man, you got to be on fire. Constantly edifying in the spirit. Okay, constantly doing your shows. All right, doing whatever it takes to keep that fire burning. All right. Do whatever it takes to keep that fire burning, but also, you know, building up bros too. You know, teaching his word, doing the work. You know, that is a part of being on fire. How you saying you're on fire, but you don't ever do lessons? You don't ever read. You don't ever study. This truth is way more than just going out there yelling at people, man. How do you look in the mirror? Self-examination is a must in this truth, and if you don't like to self-examine, hey, the Lord sees everything. So you can be in denial if you want. Either be hot, okay, or be cold. Don't deal with it at all. You're gonna be destroyed, but hey, at least you're keeping it real. Lukewarm is the worst thing you can be, because you're wasting the Heavenly Father's time. And the Lord don't play that, man. Lord's will, this was an edifying lesson. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.